Welcome back, everybody. Hope everyone is doing well. My name is Jason. I'll be your host on this CFL talk show, Huskies Huddle. In this video, we're going to talk about the CFL Combine that is coming up at the end of March here, and just some key players that are going to be attending the event, and just going to be doing just a little bit of an overview. There are going to be more draft videos coming on the channel, but this is just going to be an introductory kind of thing to this event. But really quickly before we get started, if you want to support the channel, the best way to do it is by hitting the like button and subscribing to Huskies Huddle for more CFL content just like this. I greatly appreciate it. And with that said, let's talk about the CFL Combine. So first, let's start out with some dates. The CFL Combine is going to be held March 25th to the 27th at the end of this month. And before this, we actually have some regional combines. The players that are the best performers at those combines actually get invited to the national combine at the end of the month. The East and the Ontario regional combines have already taken place as of the recording of this video, but the West Combine is still to come next week, and I will do a brief video just going over some of the prospects that advanced from that regional combine when it comes out next week, but I just didn't want to wait that extra week to record this video. So first, let's look at how the combine invites match up by position. Quarterbacks, only the one that are there, Trey Ford from Waterloo. Running back, 3 invites. Wide receiver, 5. Tight end / fullback, 2. Offensive line, 10. Defensive line, 7. Linebacker, 5. And defensive back, 6, for a total of 39 original invites to this combine. Since I wrote that down, there have been 4 added from the Ontario Regional Combine and 6 added from the East Regional Combine. Schools with multiple invites so far include Waterloo, Saskatchewan, Alberta, all with 4 invites each, Western and Calgary and Queens with 3 invites each, and Mcmaster, Lorea, and Laval with 2 combine invites each. As for the origin of these players, a vast majority of the invites this year have come from either the U Sports level or the Canadian Junior level, with 37 of the 39 original invites from U Sports or the Canadian Junior level. So those are just the original Combine invites by the numbers, but now I want to get into a few interesting players to watch going into this year's event. A Niagara Falls native, quarterback Trey Ford was a 3-year starter at the University of Waterloo, where he had a remarkable career on his way to becoming a 2-time OUA MVP. A player capable of impacting the game as both a passer and a runner, Ford put up insane stats at the U Sports level, including a 30 touchdown to 2 interception season in 2018. The reigning Heck Creighton Trophy Award winner will look to join Nathan Rourke and Michael O'Connor as Canadian passers that have established themselves on CFL rosters. Joining Trey Ford at the Combine is his brother Tyrell, who started as a defensive back for the Warriors. Like his brother, Tyrell has appeared on both releases of the CFL Scouting Bureau so far, coming in at 12th and 9th in the fall and winter rankings, respectively. He has good size for the defensive back position, listing at 6 foot, 200 pounds. One thing to watch at the Combine with him and the other defensive back prospects is the 40-yard dash time. Typically, I think the 40-yard dash time is overrated, but for certain positions like defensive back, it definitely has more of an impact with talent evaluators. Regardless, Tyrell is thought of by many as one of the top prospects in this year's draft. Perhaps the number 1 prospect at running back in this year's class is Saskatoon native Adam Mashart. Mashart is coming off an absurdly productive season in 2021, putting up over 1,300 total yards in 9 games, while helping lead the Huskies to their first Vanier Cup appearance since 2006. In the limited action I've watched of him, what stands out to me is his great short area quickness. This will be a player to pay close attention to in regards to his combine numbers. Perhaps no other storyline is as interesting going into this year's CFL draft than the Philpott brothers, Jayden and Tyson, out of the University of Calgary. The Delta BC natives were a dynamic pass-catching duo with the Dinos. Jayden led the team in both receptions and yards in 2021 with 43 and 799 respectively, but Tyson wasn't far behind, producing 41 receptions for 746 yards while scoring 6 more touchdowns than Jayden. Regardless of the brotherly competition, both receivers will be in high demand come May's draft. A recent mock draft done by 3Down Nation insider John Hodge had the brothers going 2nd and 3rd overall, respectively. Of course, it wouldn't be the CFL Combine without the Western Mustangs being well represented, and 2022 is no different, with 3 players receiving invites this year. One such player is offensive tackle Zach Frye, who is listed at 6'6" and 300 pounds. He played tackle for the Mustangs while being part of a line that was often dominant rushing the football. He has twice appeared on this draft scouting bureau, coming in at 18th in the fall edition and rising all the way up to number 8 in the winter release. A strong combine might shoot Frye even further up draft boards around the CFL. Staying on the offensive line with another school that is well represented at this year's combine, and that is Noah Zur out of Saskatchewan, another player that has catapulted up the scouting bureau rankings. The 6'7", 330-pound lineman came in at 20th in the fall edition, and then cracked the top 10 of the winter rankings. As an all-Canadian first-teamer in 2021, Zur helped pave the way to a Huskies berth in the Vanier Cup this past season. Three Down Nation's John Hodge has the Rough Riders selecting the Langenburg, Saskatchewan native with the 7th overall pick. One player that many have an eye on at the Combine after Hodge's recent mock draft is Western defensive lineman Deontay Knight, who the writer had going number 1 overall to the Edmonton Elks. Knight is a versatile defensive lineman capable of playing both the edge and the interior, which appeals to a lot of CFL teams that currently start a Canadian defensive lineman. The Ajax native had 10 sacks in 11 games in 2021 to go along with 13 tackles for loss. It will be fascinating to watch him at this year's Combine. The other player that Hodge mentioned might be in consideration for the number 1 overall pick is Tyrell Richards, a linebacker from Syracuse. An explosive athlete, Richards played 3 seasons with the Orange, including making several starts at outside linebacker at the Division I level. In his last action in 2020, he had a career-best 3 sacks while also showcasing his ability as one of the team's best special teams players. After being out of football in 2021, he is attending this year's Combine, which is usually a good sign that a player is heading to the CFL next season. This certainty, combined with the common belief that Richards is one of the most explosive players in this draft class, should ensure the Branton product a high selection on draft day. Another player that appeared on both editions of the Scouting Bureau so far is defensive back Jayden Dalt from the University of Alberta. Dalt is a player that came through the Canadian Junior Football League ranks, playing with the Edmonton Wildcats from 2015 to 2018 before joining the Golden Bears. A force at safety, he had an excellent season in 2021, being named a second-team All-Canadian. Dalt is one of 4 Alberta Golden Bears that were on the original invite list for this year's Combine. So those are just some players I wanted to talk about from the original invite list, but finally I just wanted to touch on a couple prospects that have already advanced from the Ontario and East Regional Combines, respectively. One player that really stood out at the Ontario event was Mcmaster defensive lineman Enoch Lorea, who had quite the day in the drills. He finished top 3 in the vertical jump, broad jump, and the 40, while also having the second most reps on the bench press. If the Mcmaster product can replicate those numbers again at the National Combine, he might be a very coveted player on draft day. Out east, keep an eye on wide receiver Vincent Forbes-Montbleau out of Laval, who I totally butchered his name right there. He had a really strong performance all around in the drills. He finished first among all participants in the 3-cone drill, tied for first on the bench press, and also had one of the highest vertical jumps. While he may not have elite long speed as illustrated by his decent but unspectacular 4.68 40-yard dash, that elite change of direction ability while also being a strong guy for his size may make him a coveted H-back hybrid type of player at the CFL level, or at the very least a high upside special teams guy. But with that said, that is going to be the end of today's Combine preview, everybody, and I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. Once again, my name is Jason. If you want to support the channel and this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to Huskies Huddle for more CFL content just like this. I greatly appreciate it, everybody. Let me know what you guys think of the prospects going into this year's draft and into this year's Combine. I'd love to hear it. And with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.